I feel like when we hear the term emotionally unavailable, we assume that that person is like some heartless witch who doesn't want children and hates everyone who's in love. I think I also used to think that until I became emotionally unavailable for the first time in my life. And I'm like, wait, this is awesome. I love it. I was in my first serious relationship this year. And we were like, hey, I really love you, but we are not really working out. And that was so hard for me to accept because I thought that love was the goal. And I spoke with a friend and she was also kind of going through something similar. And we realized that like love is sort of the bare minimum, right? Like if you're with someone, it means you love them. Love isn't the end point. Love is kind of where it all begins. Once you realize that you love someone, then it changes and you're like, okay, are we now compatible? Can we build a life together? I love a lot of people. I wouldn't marry a lot of people. And it became really difficult because I had achieved this like goal of gay love that I'd wanted in all of my adolescence. And then I realized on the other side of it that it wasn't enough. And that although I'd loved this man, he wasn't my husband, at least for now. At this current juncture, I'm not gonna marry that man. And so sitting with the disappointment and the heartbreak of feeling like I failed at love has rendered me into a state of like, I don't wanna try it again. Currently right now, I'm like, I'm good. I am so straight. Not really. I'm very uninterested. I'm into myself and my freedom and my friends and my work and building this podcast and auditioning for jobs and just living my life alone, right? Like that is what's turning me on. And I realized the other day that I did not have the sinking feeling that I assume gay men feel, and I'm curious if straight men feel, but I'll speak for the gays. When I would see another gay couple walking around, my heart would sink. I was like, I want what they have and I want to be him. And actually, I'm cuter than the one on the left, but actually, I don't really like the one on the right's eyebrows. And so, you know what? I don't need it. Like I was so jealous and I had so much longing for what they had that it would manifest as this really ugly mood inside of me. And then I got out of a relationship and I was like, I don't want it. I've had that. I've been on the other side of that coin and I'm paying with card today. I do not want that coin for the foreseeable future. I'm good. I'm really, really good. And I realized that I am emotionally unavailable in the most healthy way possible. We hear a lot of women talk about like decentering men and not being male-centered. And that is something that I relate to. I am a pretty male-centered gay man. I wanted love. I was always sort of looking for my husband. I got you guys. I would have this really bad habit of every time I would pull up to a red light, out of reflex, look to my right to be like, husband? Is that you? No, girl. That is a mom in a minivan. That is not your husband. What are you doing? I was giving myself whiplash trying to get married. It's absurd. I was so emotionally available. And then I got into a relationship and I was like, wait, I don't think that my heart is ready for this. And I don't really want to get into like why my ex and I broke up. That's not the point of this video and this podcast. But I've realized through this breakup that my emotional safety is not contingent on another person in a way that is so new and foreign and radical for me, because I think I had been walking around with my heart on my sleeve being like, love me, love me, love me. Like, who's gonna come save me? Who's gonna be my Prince Charming? And how am I gonna feel valid and whole and that I've checked this box and that like all of the pain was worth it because I went through all of my trials and tribulations to become ready for my husband. Like, who is it? And I'm like, it's you, babe. I went through all of that for me and for no one else. Where I currently sit right now is I am so single, spending time with people in ways that do not require us to ask, oh, so like, what are you looking for? Nothing. I'm looking for you to get out of my bed because thank you. It was so lovely. It was so nice. You were great, wonderful, beautiful man. I'm good. We did what we needed to do, you know, and I don't want to encourage the objectification or the dehumanization. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I just want to say that up front that like whenever I have that sort of feeling of like, okay, thanks, it isn't to negate this other person's humanity or emotional landscape, but I'm actually very honest with a lot of men I'm seeing right now being like, I am not emotionally available. You are not going to fall in love with me. You might fall in love with me. It's never going to go anywhere. I'm single. And it is this thing that is so empowering because I am focused on my work and I'm focused on myself and I'm focused on my health and I'm focused on still my recovery. I'm still recovering from being in a relationship that I really cared a lot about and it didn't go the way I wanted it to. I'm not in the same space of recovery that I was when we first broke up. I feel much better about the situation. We broke up at this point like 3 months ago. I think about him and I care about him and I asked if his family was safe during the hurricanes, you know, and he did not really want to talk to me and that's his right. We didn't end on bad terms by any means, but like he doesn't owe me a conversation and I didn't feel as affected by being like, why isn't he responding to me? I was like, we broke up, babe. He can do what he wants. He can respond if he wants. We don't have to do this, right? Like I think in the past when I was emotionally available, even after a breakup, I would read more into those things and being like, well, like, what's up? Who do you think you are? And I'm like, actually, dude, I don't need another person. And what I also really feel right now is this deep desire to not be needed. I do not want anyone relying on me for their emotional well-being. It makes my skin crawl like there's bugs in my veins just going like, do not ask me to be your husband right now. It is a resounding aversion to the requirement of being in a relationship. So much so to the point where I'm like, do I ever want to be in a relationship? Do I ever want to be someone's partner? I see myself, honestly, you guys, this might change, but at this current moment, I absolutely see myself more having children as a single man and like dating around potentially. But I know for a fact that I will have children more than I know for a fact that I need a husband to have said children. I am like so fine being like, I don't know if I want a ring on my finger. I feel like my finger feels really fine naked. I'm a ring nudist. Like, I really do not know that I like need a partner. And I come from a family where we're not all of us are married. We're not all like in relationships. We're not a huge relationship family. So I don't think I'm the only one. But for me, I'll speak for me that like, I kind of knew for a long time that I was like, I don't know that I really need a partner. I am such a weird person. I'm so unique, like this homeschooled, gay, Christian, sober, blah, 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 blah. Like I have a lot of things that like need attention, like a lot of different and like juxtaposing, contradicting facets of my personality that I'm like, you would have to be like a unicorn, like this complete perfect inversion of me to be able to like make me feel satisfied. And I'm not a polyamorous person. I'm very monogamous when I'm in a relationship, but I do appreciate the sentiment from the polyamorous community of like not getting everything you need from one person. But I think the expectations of relationships have conditioned us into expecting everything from one person. And with that expectation comes a lot of disappointment. I am very disappointed by partners most of the time. And so in this season of emotional unavailability, I get to really re-examine what I need and my expectations and my wants and the standards I'm holding people up to. And I'm not saying that I want to reduce my standards or settle for less, but rather understanding that every relationship, no one's going to be this like unicorn skeleton key who just like is you, just in the other, like in reverse. That's a unreasonable expectation. That is so much pressure to put on a fully autonomous human being to just be like, you're perfect now. Are you perfect? Because if not, see you, brother. Like, that's a little weird. And I will admit that I think I was doing that. I think up until this point have been looking for that person who will just fit every single nook and cranny of my personality and my body. But at this point, I'm like, oh, I don't need that from anyone. I don't need anyone to come in and heal me. And that is so radical because I think I'd stopped myself from my own healing, being like, oh, this is someone else's work. My husband will do this. My husband will make me feel better. My husband will fix all my wrongs and patch up any seams and holes of my personality. Like, he'll make it better. And it's like, who exactly are you talking about? Like, who specifically are you waiting to heal you? There is not a prospect. There is not a suitor. There is not anything on the horizon. Like, I'm single as an adult gay male. And I'm single not looking for a relationship. For the first time in my life, I am single as a gay male not looking for love. And it is awesome. It is awesome. And the reason I love it is because I feel like I can breathe. I was so anxious all the time, being like, is he here again? Looking over to my right, checking if he's at the red light with me. No, he's not. It's really nice to feel that I can close that window for myself and not need so much from others and actually being able to love and hold myself and treat myself and show up for myself, right? I didn't have to like wait for another person to be like, hey babe, can we like fix something in you? No, baby. I get to look myself dead in the mirror and be like, cool, we're changing this. And that has been so radical to answer questions, right? Like the answers have been inside of me. I thought I was going to find them in another person. I thought that was the point of life. I thought that was the point of love. I thought love was supposed to reflect back to you so that you could grow. I am in touch enough with myself to grow via my community and my spiritual practice and just living my life. I don't actually need another human being to make me better. I'm not saying that other human beings don't. Other human beings absolutely make us better, but I don't need that in a partner to still grow. And being on that side of the understanding has been so radical and so freeing. So I'm just really loving it. If you are seeking another person, I would highly recommend like find them. For me, this only came from finding another person. This only came from living in the dream, the grass that I thought was greener, right? Like I rolled around in that grass, girl. My skin's itchy. I needed to take a shower. Does anyone have any aloe vera? Because I rolled in that grass and that grass is green for sure. lovely relationship, really green grass. But now that I've been in it, I'm like, oh, maybe I want sand. Maybe I don't even want grass at all. Maybe this isn't who I am. I'm not saying it's not. Maybe I'm in a space where I can actually explore what I want to live my life like as an adult, right? I feel like relationships, there's so much compromising, which is the point, right? Like that is an aspect of being in a healthy relationship, is being malleable and available to change yourself to better serve your partner. That's normal. I'm not saying that's weird. That's the point. I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't know if I want to live like that. I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm in my fullest Sagittarius. Like, don't ask me for shit. Do not ask me for one singular thing, because I cannot promise that I will say yes. I'm in a space of needing freedom and autonomy and the ability to come home at 4 a.m. or not. But do not tell me what I can and cannot do. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is so radical to not need another person, and to also now not be making the decision to stay single out of any ignorance. I can now make the decision to stay single from a place of information, not from a place of fear, not from a place of insecurity, but from a place of like, I've been in love. Love can be beautiful. Love can be awesome. There are other parts of being in love that I do not want in this current chapter of my life. And that feeling of actually being able to say, no, I don't want it. Woo, girl, it's revolutionary. It is so revolutionary to not walk around so with just an open wound, bleeding on everyone I met, bleeding on every man that I want. Not literally, that's gross. I mean, emotionally, I speak in metaphors, if you guys haven't been able to tell yet. I speak in metaphors, bitch. They're like, what color is the sky? And I'm like, it's like a nail. And they're like, Horace, it's actually I'm sorry. But I was walking around with this open wound of my heart, metaphorically, that I needed healing from. And now I don't need anyone else to, I can sew it up. And that's a really, really cool place to be in. Now, the other side of emotional unavailability is interacting with other human beings. I sometimes can get very, I don't need a lot of information about someone to want to spend adult time with them. I'm sort of like, yeah, you into this? Cool, me too. Let's do it. And a lot of people are like, hey, so my name is, oh my God, that doesn't matter. It does. It actually does. It might not to you, but most people do want some sort of humanization. And that is not ridiculous. It's not just about me. It's not because I'm emotionally unavailable, right? Like there's someone else here. There's another consenting party. And that person might just want some basic human decency. And you know what? I can't fault you for that, because at one point I needed everyone to know my name, but now the internet does, and that's all that matters to me. My priorities are in the right place. Get in my bed. No, dude, I actually feel the same way. And I feel like the connections are better when there's a real human connection as well. But that human connection doesn't have to go further than it needs to. It can be with an understanding of what the situation is, but also just a humanization and a friendship added to it. I think this is a very specifically gay male thing, because I don't think women feel safe enough to have crazy hookups like this. And I don't think that straight men are safe enough to participate as well for the general speaking woman to be interested in. But that's not my tea. My tea is, it happens a lot in the gay world where we're sort of just don't need your name. What's up? Here, show up. Cool. Again, I can get down like that. But also, there is a part of me that I think has to be conscious that if I'm healthily emotionally unavailable, that means that I can show up emotionally, but not romantically. My emotion can be kindness and gratitude and patience and love, right? It doesn't need to be permanent love. It doesn't need to be forever husband love. It can be I love you in this moment because we're sharing our bodies and our time with each other. That's I love you for that. And that can be the scale of the interaction. That is beautiful and valid. Some of the most amazing connections I've had are with people I've met for 2 hours cumulatively, right? Not a lot of time spent, but that specific time together was really palpable. And I think I can manage what I need, because I think I'm such a big person. I think I need so much vastness for things to, in my mind, be registered as important. It needs to be monumental and life-changing and forever, and the stars are shining and there's fireworks and there's actually a typhoon happening inside of me. And in this space of emotional unavailability, I, again, like I was saying earlier about managing my expectations in others, I can manage them in myself, right? And so I'm finding that I'm actually open to a much more diverse group of people to spend time with, because I'm not looking for anything other than right now. And in a way that is healthy, right? I'm not no name, no need. Again, I can go there. Generally speaking, I'm sort of hey, are you cool? Do you want to vibe? Yeah, sweet. Come over. Nice to meet you. Had a great time. Have a good day. And that is so radical, again, for me. But I think the energy that I can bring into that relationship, that small, fleeting relationship, is with a sense of gratitude and with a sense of individuality and personalization with the person that I'm spending time with, right? So there is something that is on me to monitor and be responsible with my body and with my mind and with how I'm treating others, right? Because I don't need to just like rack up the fucking roster and be like, who wants to get, like, I'm a very sex positive person. I think that like having relationships with people in this way is like a beautiful part of humanity. But I think sometimes we can get very self-centered and one-sided and one-minded about it because we don't have that other person's emotional portrait as steadily available because we just don't know them that well yet. So a lot of the time we're not concerned with their emotional landscape because that's not the nature of the relationship. It's a physical relationship, not an emotional relationship. But my emotional unavailability does not mean that by default I'm never willing to emotionally humanize someone else. I don't ever want to dehumanize, objectify, or disrespect someone else that I might be spending time with. But if that person needs that to feel safe and ready and comfortable in the physical relationship, then I have the space to offer that of just humanizing and being like, hey, yeah, how was your day? Cool. Take off your pants. Like, it doesn't have to be strictly business, but it also, I can have a boundary around that. I think that's what I'll wrap up with, right? Is that I have boundaries for the first time that feel like mine. I think sometimes I had adopted other people's boundaries because I had thought that this is what it means to be like a good person or a gay man or whatever it may be. But I'm like, what works for me, the boundaries that I have, might not work for other people. People might be like, what? You don't need to go on a date? I don't need to go on a date to like spend time with you in an adult way. I can get down to business if we want. I can also go on a friend date with you right now. But like, I have boundaries. I have limits. I am not going to tell you that this might go somewhere because it will not. And that is, there's so much new respect I'm gaining for myself by being able to say I am not on the market and I'm not in a relationship at the same time. I'm here for a good time, not a deep time. I mean, I guess I am for a deep time. I'm here to kick it and share in this hobby together, to recreationally relax with each other. That's all I have right now. And that's all I want right now either, right? I don't feel exhausted. I think I felt so exhausted by my readiness and my availability for so long because I had all of this pent up energy that I was so ready to just give someone and just love someone and just, again, emotionally like vomit on someone, right? And now that I'm like, ooh, no. All I have is what's in front of you right now. And that's beautiful. That is enough. I don't have to ask you to give me more than what I need. And I'm not going to tell you that I will give you more than I have. I'm giving you what I have, and I'm so grateful that you're giving it back to me, but I don't need more from this. I'm not finding my safety and my emotional validation in others. I'm finding it in myself for the first time via being emotionally unavailable. And that is the hugest gift that I've ever experienced. And I'm so excited to see what new adventures I can get myself into that aren't riddled with the possibility of like, is this love? Because I get to make the executive decision that it's not. And that doesn't mean it's invalid. Doesn't mean it's not worthy. It just means that I'm not looking for anything else than what's in front of my face right now. And that's awesome. I feel present, I feel grateful, I feel rejuvenated, and I feel relaxed when talking to other men. I can talk to men and I'm not like, is this? No, it's not. This is a man. This is a human being that's right in front of my face. Guys, that's all I have for today. I will see you this Wednesday and the Sunday after that. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye! Ooh, that was messy. Okay, hold on. Bye. Oh my God. That was really, okay, we're gonna go again. Bye. I need to stop smoking. Also, guys, last thing I'll say is I am addicted to Agatha All Along right now. And so I've just been singing, down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Okay, bye.